Welcome to episode 53.
The New Meta Podcast.
Always goes without any flaws.
I am ThaPChild.
And I am Lord Fluffy.
Mm-hmm. Welcome,
baby,
man.
baby,
it's been a long time since we've talked.
Yeah. Too soon, to be honest.
Too soon? Too soon? Dang, man.
Yeah.
Rough. Episode. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, buddy.
Okay, thanks.
I talked to the whole
Season
last
started.
one, so you know.
I know the season started. I let you talk, man. You were fanboying out.
Shit.
Listen, I'll let you have.
Shit.
I'll let you have your
Shit,
moments. The season started Friday.
Yeah, sure did.
Pretty exciting stuff, man. The season's always fun. We leveled together.
We did.
We did that thing. We had a little level party. We went pretty well.
Yeah.
Took us about 2 hours, slightly over 2 hours, man. Like 2 hours.
It wasn't
minutes, 2 hours.
the fastest. The leveling
fastest.
1 to 70 was probably pretty damn fast, but like our ability to get Paragon was pretty bad.
Yeah, we had a rough start.
Yeah, we did.
So we had some pretty crappy drop luck, in all honesty, too. Like, we didn't get Crisbees in our party until
530,
like 600 something. Yeah, it was pretty high, crazy high.
No,
so
I was the only one doing damage. Jesus Christ!
I was carrying everything, man.
Shit.
I like carry so much.
Shit, boy.
But yeah, we had it was a fun seasonal start, man. That was one of the that was a fun start of
it was
season.
close
best
too.
ones I've had in a
like
while.
Bloodshed beat us by like literally 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was like
it was so close. It was a good one.
It was so good. Yep. We didn't have, in the past seasons I've had better luck leveling. I've had better rifts. I've had more goblins. We got completely gypped by Kadala when we were rolling. Two of the 3 party members got the worst item you could possibly get as Necro.
Yeah, the spear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was bad.
So yeah, Bone Spear. I had to, I played Bone Spear for like 48 hours straight. It was so horrible.
Yeah.
I had Bone Spear leveling, and I went straight into Z Necro, which was Bone Spear all weekend until I went solo.
That sounds dope, man. What are you complaining about?
Kind of sick of it.
You should play Blight Spear.
We had a poll last week. Let's check out the results.
Yeah, we did. So last week, we asked, stash space, pick your poison. Okay? So none of these are great. 1, keep it in memory and give me more. Fuck it. I don't care about performance. And again, if you guys missed it, 4 weeks ago, they told us that the reason they can't give us more stash space is because they basically keep everything in memory, like all the items between you and your party. And so adding more stash just adds more, memory constraints, and it's bad. So yeah, option 1, keep it in memory, give me more. I don't care about performance. 2, add more stash, but you have to wait 20 seconds anytime you click your stash. Overall, how the stash works so we can have more at the cost of no new content for 3 seasons. And 4, who the hell needs more stash? It's fine. First of all, what do you vote? Second of all, what do you think won?
Can we change the 20 seconds to like 5 seconds?
Sure can.
20 seconds is a fucking eternity,
yeah, it would
man.
be.
That is a long time. Okay, so here's what I would pick, and this is, can we make a clan that's like 32 gigs of memory or more clan? Like that's a requirement to get into it.
Yeah.
And then you only play with your clanmates.
Shit. Talking about 64.
I as much as this sucks, I would say who the hell needs more? It's fine, because I'm gonna try to justify this a little bit. 20 seconds is an eternity. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people that play Diablo have really crappy PCs, if we're being, honest. The game runs on a potato. So I think a lot of people play this game because of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
So you would really screw over a lot of people. And then nothing for 3 seasons. We've done that. That sucks. So
been there.
I think I'd rather just not be able to gear alts,
Yeah.
That's mine.
What do you think
pick?
that's what
Same
won?
thing?
Or do you think?
Yeah. I think that's what won.
All right. Me, it's obviously like I'm on the I don't really care about all this like stash fiasco. So
Yeah, you only play one class.
right. So I don't still need, and I've got a mule. Like you can have a ton of characters, so you can have like literally one of every class plus one mule of every class, and still have like 2 spaces. So I don't need more stash. But I'm gonna say no. Who the hell needs it?
Okay.
And that seems to be the popular vote. 48% of the vote says, who the hell needs more stash? It's fine. 29% of the vote says, keep it in memory. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And 17% says, overall, but no new content. Wow. 40 people. You guys need help, man.
I mean,
You
these guys
need
already did that thing. So, if I knew what content we were going to get for the 3 seasons that we would give up, maybe I would change my answer. If it's like season of COE or some shit, I'm like, well, you can keep that. Like, let's just do the stash phase,
And then 6% of the vote actually voted for 20 seconds. That would be literally an eternity.
That is an eternity. Man, that is.
We should just pause for 20 seconds to example.
Yeah, right.
It's an eternity.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It's so long.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for voting, everybody that did that. If you guys don't know how to vote, Fluffy puts the link to the straw poll in the YouTube comments, and he also links them in chat when we're live. So if you're catching us live, there you go.
Yeah.
But if
and
not,
my mods, if
YouTube.
they're doing their job, it'll be exclamation point poll all week. But they're rats. They're a bunch of rats, dude. But yeah, new poll. Okay. This is something we talked about in stream. I thought it was pretty juicy. There's a lot of controversy over this one. Choose one. Okay. Endgame content edition every season. And like small content, like I know you don't know Breach, Abyss, Essence from POE, but they're like, assume you opened up a Greater Rift, and then within the Greater Rift, there's like a little mini event that happened. Right?
I think I've seen you do the breaches.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where the wall closes in the whole time.
No, that's the Nexus. But
Okay.
it's like the reverse. It like gets bigger.
Okay.
But yeah, and you get like special rewards and like currency items, and it's juicy. It's fun. It's just like
Sounds
it's not
fun.
huge,
Yeah.
right? So that every season, or a new class every other season. So effectively one new class every 6 months. But we're still doing rifts and greater rifts.
That would be insane to have that many classes over the course of 2 or 3 years.
Just pump the brakes, dude.
How about
we're not talking about it this week. Just pump the brakes. So I'm gonna spam in chat. You guys can vote. Oh shit. Just cancel it out.
Oh man. So hard not to talk about the polls. So hard.
Chill
Okay.
the fluff.
All right.
out, dude.
All right.
But yeah, you guys
Happy
go vote.
birthday.
What?
Happy birthday, man.
Whose birthday?
Happy birthday. Oh, Diablo's birthday.
Oh yeah. I mean, the face of Diablo,
7?
I guess. Thank you.
7 years.
7 years, man. Can you believe it?
7 years.
I thought it was more than that, to be honest.
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, do you remember the error on launch night? Like, I played on launch night. I don't even really remember.
34, 37?
36, 32,
37,
30 something.
32.
37?
I don't really know.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. And I either it was so bad that it completely got erased from my memory, or I got in, which I don't think that could be the case. So, but I was definitely on launch night
Really?
or I just don't remember it. So I must have blocked it out of my memory. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember it at
But yeah,
all
7 years
either,
ago.
actually, to be honest. Like, it's not something I remember. Like,
Because I remember being hype and like counting down. Like I remember the lead up to it, me and buddies like talking like, dude, it's coming out. You ready? Like 3 or 4 days before, like every day we were talking like, you ready, you ready, you ready. And so I know I tried to play launch night, but I really just don't remember the error. So, but yeah, 7 years ago, that's what I was doing. I was either, I guess, looking at error codes, unless somehow I managed to get in, which I don't see how that's possible. So I wish I could remember better,
yeah, me too. What the hell's going on with this window?
What did you
right
play
now?
first? You played a Barb first?
Yeah, Barb was my main from like vanilla
Me
all
too,
the way.
Masterclass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Barb all vanilla as well. So I tried to whiz a little bit, but I don't know.
I can't
Wasn't-
tell what's
wasn't
going
really
on with
feeling
this thing. Sorry, I'm like having technical difficulties
Yeah.
over here. Like this fucking window is huge,
Yeah,
and it's behind
above us.
everything. Like it's literally behind everything. I literally hate this shit.
There you go. You got it. Well,
No, I don't.
I don't
have
know.
shit fixed.
I don't know. technical difficulties. I'll keep talking while you fix it.
It's like frozen now. Look, I'm disabling it.
Great.
What the fuck is going on with this fucking shit? I hate it.
Oh well.
Yeah. Anyways.
Technical difficulties again. This is
Once
all fluff.
again.
This is nothing but fluff.
This makes no sense. But go ahead.
Add a new source. But yeah, so happy birthday to Diablo, 7-year anniversary. I don't know, man. It was. I didn't hate vanilla as much as a lot of people did. I thought the real money auction house was a little bit. You could definitely tell that the game was weighted towards the real money auction house. It felt set up in a way to make you have to go spend money to buy things. At least that's the way it felt to me. This was kind of like one of my first introductions into real life gambling, you know?
Yeah.
So the gambling that's gonna go on inside of video games.
Yeah, it was insane. Like how long until probably like from vanilla launch to the minute you were to like I can't take this anymore with the auction house? Like how long did it take you to like really just?
I'm really close to you, man. I think it was maybe a month before they got rid of it, before the announcement came out. I think that was when I finally hit my breaking point with the game. But I definitely remember hitting that brick wall really early on with Belial, at least on a barb. I was playing a barb. I was, obviously we were all new to the game.
Right.
And I was kind of like, steamrolling through the content until I got to Belial. And then he just kicked my ass, man, to the point where I was like, okay, what the F is going on? Like,
right.
Even at normal, the easiest difficulty, he was just kicking our ass.
Sure.
So,
don't mind me.
So then I ended up having a buddy that had a monk, and I don't know if he got good drops or monks were OP or I sucked at the game. I'm not really sure which one it was.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually helped me kill Belial. And then, I just continued steamrolling. But that was the first introduction to the auction house. I remember going to Skeleton King level, farming pots to get gold to try to buy a life per hit weapon to kill Belial.
Yeah,
so
it was fucked.
I remember doing that for hours and just being like, this kind of sucks. So
yeah,
that was kind of my first. I'm not like this.
Where were you at though? Let's reflect, right? So 7 years ago, Diablo 3 releases. Like, where were you at in life? You know what I mean?
I was kind of where I'm at now. I just had my youngest son was less than a year old,
mm-hmm.
and lived in the same house, but we had just kind of moved in here. I was traveling a lot for work at the time, so I remember when it launched, like 2 or 3 days after it launched, I had to go to Vegas for a week. So I remember in between meetings and conferences running back to my hotel room and like trying to play on hotel internet and shit. And like this is back in, when was 7 years ago? 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Like hotel internet, I don't know if it's better now, but it was garbage back then.
Right.
And so, they're like, oh man, we're gonna go out to such and such and eat dinner and do all this shit, coworkers. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm not feeling good. My stomach's all queasy. I don't know. I must have got food poisoning or something. I'm going to go back to the room and, I'm not feeling good. And they're like, oh, man, I hope you feel better. And as soon as I got back to the room, I'm like, Diablo, bitches.
Wow.
Sitting on my hotel bed on a laptop.
Solid, dude.
Yeah. And what I spent all that time doing was fucking breaking pots in Skeleton King level.
Yeah.
Trying to, get gold.
Yeah.
So
it's my first year out of college. And I remember like it came out and I played it for like 3-4 months pretty hard. But I had like my first like real life job. So I couldn't like really devote as much time to it as I wanted to. And I remember like my parents took me on this like awful graduation gift trip. And we went to like Canada. And it ended up being like literally the worst trip of my whole life. And,
my mom and dad, if you're listening, loved it.
No, they know I fucking hate it. And we went to like the ski town. I was like out of season, like because it was fucking summertime, but and it was in Canada. It was like this nothing town. And they had like no internet, and I had like my girlfriend's laptop at the time, and it was so fucking slow, and it was awful. I couldn't play barely any Diablo, but
I hear you.
Yeah,
I don't remember how long the auction house lasted into its lifespan. Did it make it a full year?
I don't really remember. I think it did. I think it lasted quite a while.
But I was with you, man. It was like about a month before that announcement came through, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Fuck it. You know, I can't. I was playing WoW like crazy back then. And so when Diablo first came out, I was ping-ponging back and forth. Like I was into Diablo for a couple weeks, and then I was ping-ponging back and forth between WoW and Diablo. And then over time, I started playing less Diablo and more WoW until I had almost phased all the way off. And then they announced they were getting rid of the auction house. And that's when the Loot 2.0 system hit, I think. And I was like, oh, we can actually get gear and shit now. So that's kind of what sucked me back in, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
But, you know, anyway, happy birthday, Diablo. It's been a nice 7, man. Hopefully we'll get more out of you. Hopefully you still got some new blood in there.
Yeah, and hopefully you don't see. Do you think it's okay? So I think it was like a 10-year gap between Diablo 2, Diablo 3. It's kind of looking like it might repeat itself.
Yeah.
Why does it take them so long? Like, what are they doing?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
They sold so many copies of Diablo
know,
3.
man.
Like, what were they, like what?
It's like one of the best-selling games of all time.
Yeah, like why would
Ever.
you not like be like Call of Duty and pump one out every year? Like,
I don't
what do you
know.
mean? Like,
I don't get it either.
It doesn't.
It's like, do you not like private islands? Like, who's in charge of Blizz? Yo, do you want an island this week? Like, you know, get some D4 going.
it's actually crazy.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, speaking of, what'd you get for your primal for level 70 this season?
The Haunt of Voxo or something. I'm not sure. Is that how you say it? Haunt of Voxo?
Yeah, on the Voxel.
The neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Pretty
stun that gives you
garbage.
pets or whatever. I remember that used to
Yeah.
be pretty decent. To be honest, that used to be a pretty decent item.
So I haven't got any usable primals yet this season.
I got
Have you gotten anything?
I got homing pads.
What was your 70?
That was my
Homing pads?
Homing
Okay.
pads, which you can use for T16.
At least you can use in
Right.
lawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use in lawn.
But as far as good, I haven't really gotten any good ancients, like, period, let alone primals. I probably gotten like 9 primals so far, and probably about, I don't know what, 35, 40 hours played. Somewhere
It's
in
not
there.
bad. My primal counts at like maybe 6, I think. And nothing. I mean, the best thing. Yeah, I don't think I have anything. The best thing I got was a litany, a lawn ring,
On the
and
season of lawn.
that does you nothing. I mean, so like out of season, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't play non-season, so you know, it's a good item. And any other season, it would have been like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. You know, I think it actually rolled decent too, but
Right.
this season it's complete garbage. So
Yeah.
doesn't help.
Do you ever think they'll do that? We talked about this forever ago. It's like one of our seasonal ideas. And it doesn't even have to be like the whole seasonal theme because it would be garbage for a seasonal theme. But what if you could take, one item in to the season?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun.
There should be a way to farm that. I like it. I think it's it's super OP, first off.
Sure.
You know, super, super OP.
Yeah.
But if there was a way that you could do something in non-season to do that, like I don't know what, or maybe in season, like maybe that's like the next tier of seasonal journey. Like, you know, the top
Right.
tier, it gives you an item that you can like say like a gift that you can like hit the item with, and it's like a cube or something you use on the item, and that'll stay in the seasonal mailbox.
Or like opens a
You know what I
portal
mean?
in town and you like just reach your hand through and grab something out of your non-season stash.
Yeah, like it just you have to use it on your seasonal characters.
Yeah.
Right.
And it opens
So
up a
let's
rift
say you
to
earn it, like you're doing your
non-season
seasonal
cash.
journey, and once you get to the top tier, you get that item, and it's just like in your inventory, like you stick it in your stash, you're saving it. The last day before the season's about to end, use it on that one item that you're like, dude, I gotta have this next season.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty cool. I think that'd be all right.
Yeah.
It would be really broken though. That would give you. I wonder if people would use that as leveling tools. Like, you know, you take
Oh, 100%, right?
some kind of primal item with a max, level minus.
Right, because you
level
can throw
requirement on
the
it.
XP thing on like anything and make it like
Yeah.
the level requirements like removed and it doesn't fuck up the item. So why not?
Yeah.
It'd be dope. But I mean, like what I'm thinking is like it's a super fucking rare like currency item. Like so, like you couldn't start out the season with it. Maybe. Like it's a currency item. You use it. You like open up a little rift and you reach in and grab a little non-season item out of your stash. Like super fucking rare.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
there's some cool ideas to do that.
Sure.
I like it. I think it's and see, my thing is the power and balance is gone. Like
Yeah, 100%.
season of Rourke, season of Lon, they have completely just thrown away any notion of like let's balance things and keep things in check. Like shit's just gone crazy.
Right.
And I think the game needed that to an extent. You know, I think at this point with the amount of content we're getting, you got to do something to keep it fresh. And this is at least giving us that power fantasy for a little while. Ultimately, I think for the long run, this is going to cause problems.
Yeah.
I think this is a temporary fix that's going to just make it harder to
Sure.
take away. But we got it, and
yeah.
so roll with it, man. You know, just roll with it.
What do you think? Let's jump ahead a bit. What do you think about this? We talked about this over the weekend, and there seemed to be a lot of controversy over this one too. But I really like this idea. I think it would be dope. Because again, like we said, we're kind of throwing balance out of the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next season. Because it's like, they're going to have to do something powerful. Because this season is insane. Like, the season alone, like, that is so strong.
It's fucking stupid.
It's so strong. And, like, anything else, like, say they did, you know, season COE next season, it's going to feel so blah. Unless they make a ton of changes. Between,
they can't. Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, so
COE season, man, nobody's playing.
It'd be brutal, right?
Like Blizz, if you're listening, like, dude, you can't do a season of COE.
Yeah.
You can't.
So, in the interest of like keeping things powerful and spicy, what do you think about?
Awesome. You know what you're doing. This is awesome.
So, every character you get the armory, right? And you can save builds in the armory. You got 10 slots. What if before you went to Greater Rift, you could select one of those builds on top of the build that you're currently wearing to bring into the Greater Rift with you?
Keybind to flip builds in the middle of the Rift. You can freely toggle back and forth. And we've already worked out details on this a little bit.
Like if you use a Land of the Dead cooldown, you know, you can't like reset it by switching builds. Like
cooldown, it would be just like in town. Like you can't switch builds if you got stuff on cooldown.
Right.
And your power levels, like your essence or your hatred or, you know, any of that stays exactly where it's at. So if you're out of resources, it's not going to give you resources. And if you have max, it's not going to take it away and screw you over. But how cool would that be to be able to have a trash clear build and then like an elite killer build? So you're going through and you're mowing trash, and then, you know, you get to the Rift Guardian and you're like, boop.
Hell yeah, brother. That'd be sick. That'd be so.
Oh man, it would be so fun.
It would be fun.
It would be so fun. And like,
you could use it you could use it as like a defensive cooldown too if you wanted to, right? Like you'd be like, oh shit, I want to die. Like boom, tanky mode, and just like walk through bad stuff. Yeah, poof, back to squishy glass cannon mode. It'd be pretty fun.
Yep.
You could. There's so many possibilities, right? There's so many possibilities.
Yeah, the things that you could take into a Rift. I mean, and so we were just, you know, Fluff and I did a bunch of rats this weekend.
Right.
So you know what's funny is we've played a lot of games together, but we've never played Diablo together.
Yeah.
Which is like our main game.
Yeah.
This is the first weekend that we've actually really played Diablo together. And so we were doing rats and we're just talking in Discord, and we're like working out the details on this. But if you're doing rats, like you could do triple rats and then like flip over to Z Necro, make some orbs, and then flip back to rat. And like just the mechanical gameplay of doing that, I think would be fun. I think it would be a blast.
You could like generate yourself a bunch of globes and then like wear
I'm
Reaper's
actually
wraps
really excited
and, like,
about this.
backward.
I don't know if Blizzard is like, guys, you need to make sure, we need to write this up, Fluff, and make sure they see this because this is a fucking, like, it would be so broken, but god dang, this would be fun. This would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, imagine like you're doing 4-man meta. You know, you got your support barb and your support monk, and at the end, like they basically just like chill, you know, and you'd be like, actually, boop, I'm a you know RGK, like no problem.
I'm gonna go generator monk and just put some fists in his ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it'd be
sick.
Dude, it'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm getting all excited about it and shit, but it's not gonna happen. So.
No, it won't happen. But
man,
it'd be cool.
The possibilities are endless. So we should have made a poll on that. That's what we should have pulled.
True.
We should have polled that and been like, do you like this idea? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You know? Next week, maybe. We'll write that up.
But okay, what are the questions you're getting like all the time so far
for the season?
Yeah,
it's like, what class is good? What should I play? What build?
And how would you answer that?
Necro. Necro. No, in all honesty, this kind of goes to some of the questions that we've got for the episode later on. But I think Necro benefits the most from Lon. I think it's pretty easy to see that. I mean, they just their weapons are top tier, and being able to put on the rings.
Yeah,
with
jewelry
Lons,
and weapons are top tier. So like,
it's top tier for Necro. So Necro benefits a lot from Lon. So if you want to play in groups with people, and then Necro is, I think, the way to go. Crusader is super powerful solo and a lot of fun. And then I also think Wizard is in a really good spot.
Insane.
Chantoto's looks so much fun.
Yeah.
I haven't played it, but man, it looks fun. And I'm going to make that my first alt when I decide to roll one. It's going to be Wizard.
Yeah,
And then Wizard's also got Lon Starcraft.
Right. If
So,
we get season COE next season, like we're basically getting our sneak peek at what the meta is going to be next season, which will be like triple Veer and like a support barb. So like if you're playing Veer, like that's probably going to be playing next season, an XP meta.
Yep.
So it's like training.
Yeah. It's good. And Veer's not going to get crushed.
No.
You know, like that's why it's going to be the meta next season, because it's already doing really good now.
Yeah.
And it's not going to take any hit from Lon. So going away.
Well, I'm thinking about it.
But
I'm going to bring up the leaderboard. You keep going.
Oh yeah. So I think that's probably the most commonly asked question, and then it's do you have a build for this or that?
Yeah.
Because and honestly, man, I kind of haven't made a lot of builds because of Diablo fans ripping.
Right.
Which kind of sucks because I miss Diablo fans. I really do.
Yeah.
And
I think
the community as a whole misses Diablo fans. And I'm not knocking like Diablo Planner. Like that's a great website. And it's got its tools, but it doesn't fill that void that Diablo fans left like I hoped it would. You know?
Yeah, and there was there were a lot of issues with it over the weekend. It was down for most of the weekend.
It was probably getting traffic for a change.
Right.
You know?
So that was really unfortunate. Like a lot of us as content creators were kind of relying on people being able to check, gear setups in D3 Planner. And it's like we just had to be like, hey, go watch the video and like pause it, because that's all we could tell them, because like there's no way for people to see it.
What questions have you been getting this season?
I get a lot of like, okay, I'm running like an Arias, or I'm running my starter set. Like, how many pieces of lawn do I need before I can switch? And it's like such a weird question to answer, because it's like you can't just have like any pieces of lawn. Is it like your weapon? Is it like
it's very specific questions too. Like, what's the best piece for lawn for this, or what's the best piece for lawn for that?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it depends on what things you have, and like, what do you have access to? If you had every piece of gear.
What I've eventually just told people is like, well, you have this like thing built in the game called the armory, so you can like just put it together and save it, and then if it's not as good, just go back to what you were just running. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
So just try it.
And you can also use your Kanai Cube to look at legendary, but like bonuses you get on pieces of gear. Like you don't have to have all the pieces memorized if you're like, man, I don't really know what would be good for a head slot. Like, you can't see the stat rolls that each head slot gets, but you can at least go in there and look at the items and say, oh, this weapon gives me XYZ bonus. Right. That'd be cool for what I'm trying to do. Let me try to get that weapon. Yeah. So take advantage of at least the tools that they're giving you in the game.
100%. But I'm looking at the leaderboards right now in the background here. Wizards at 126 already.
That's crazy.
All effing ready. I think the closest, Witch Doctor's 112, Necro's 115, Monk's 110, DH 114, Crusader 115. So Crusader and Necro are the closest.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the majority of the player base are probably playing Wizard and Necro, would be my guess. I mean, I don't like have numbers to really base that on, but it just seems to me like those are the two classes that seem to get the most hype this season. Just like last season, nobody played Necro last season,
Right. So last season, 131 was highest Necro, and I would be surprised if we saw anything less than like 134.
Was that Thorns? What's the highest?
Thorns.
Like, how hard is it to find a non-Thorns?
I'm pretty sure to go down like 15 spots or something.
Yeah. Which puts you in the what range? Like, what range is that?
Like 118. Yeah, there's like that's a Rathma. Interesting. 118.
So Thorns outperformed by like 15 greater rift levels. That's so crazy.
But yeah, I would be surprised by the end of this season we didn't see Wizard like 134, 135.
Have you made your Thorns build already?
No, are you kidding me?
I'm trolling you, man.
That shit. It's so bad, Blizz. Please fix it. Anyways.
Yeah, I think Wizard's going to end up being top tier this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like from the looks of it, and you know, but it looks fun, man. It looks like something that I want to play. What the feedback that I'm hearing is it's not as punishing since they changed the attack speed to damage.
Yeah.
It's not as punishing when you die now to get that train rolling again, which makes sense.
See that? Yeah.
So that'd be that would make it almost even more fun to play, I think. You know.
Yeah. It's super OP. What else do we have on schedule?
So as far as Diablo news, there was an interesting article I saw on IGN, and IGN talked about how Blizzard. This is the name of the article. It says Blizzard learned a lot from the controversial Diablo Immortal reveal.
Yeah.
So of course, when I saw that, I'm like, ooh, click, you got me. You had me at learned. So, but what the article says is it says that Blizzard Entertainment president Alan Brack recently spoke with IGN, and they quoted him saying a huge number of lessons, in quotes, from the less than warmly received Diablo Immortal reveal. And they go on to talk, but one of the quotes that they said, and I'm gonna read this. It says, I think there's a tendency to hear, or we don't do a good job of articulating, look, this Diablo Immortal is a neat thing we think we can do, or we think that we can bring some of our franchises to the mobile platform and we have them be cool. Good Blizzard quality experiences. That does not mean we're going to continue to not make awesome PC games and console games like we have in the past. Probably the biggest lesson is not double underscoring that the piece and taking that for granted. So basically what he's saying is that they didn't do a good job of articulating that, hey, we're still going to make PC games.
Right.
And that was their underlying message that they're getting across. Do you I mean,
it's hard to hear that and not think that that's just not in reaction to BlizzCon.
yeah.
Like it's hard to really take what they say seriously, because
I hear that too, and I think, like, how did you not think that was going to be the message? Like, we've been wanting Diablo content. We were on like a 1-year drought, first off, for Diablo content with Diablo 3. We've been wanting Diablo 4 for years.
right.
No new news. All we've heard about is canceled expansions and shit like that. And you hype us for Diablo, but it's a mobile game. Like, I don't understand how you ever thought.
Yeah, and then on top of that,
you
you
know.
have like Alan Adham there, like in the Q&A, just like driving home that he thinks that PC players like are gonna love this game, and that's what we're targeting with this game, and like just bad things to say.
It's interesting, and like I said, man, I think that this would have gone over really. I don't know about really good. It would have gone over so much more smoothly had they been like, yo, we got D4 coming down the pipe, and the D4 flashes up on the screen. Crowd goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and while you wait, we got Diablo Immortal coming out XYZ, you know? Or it's like, it's going to come out really soon. This will tide us over. It's going to be an awesome thing, blah, 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 while we wait for Diablo 4. I think that would have been like, all right, well, okay. Diablo 4 they're still making PC games.
Right.
They're still working on it. So.
Yeah, man. And even like driven home that like, hey, we're partnering with NetEase, so it's like not taking our time. And I think, it probably would have been pretty good.
But it's just funny that this article just came out today. Like, they just posted this today. And it's like, man, it's been
super
8
hush
months, and they're still talking about that. So this is clearly a thing. There's clearly still backlash from this that they feel like they need to address. Like, why is he talking about it is kind of the thing. Like, that's, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, why on May 21st and 19 are we still talking about the Diablo Immortal reveal? You think that they're trying to get people softened up for Diablo 4 at BlizzCon?
I think it's IGN, man. It's
Diablo
still
2 remaster?
very clickbaity. Like it's sure it's like it's in the past now, but like we get don't you guys have phone jokes still every day in stream? So it's like it hasn't died yet by any means, and it's still like if you're like maybe not even like a diehard Diablo fan, like about it, or if you are like kind of a casual Diablo fan, like you're interested in those articles that are like, hey, here's more Diablo Immortal stuff, because we have nothing, right? So like any shred of news out there is.
And this thing's got over 100 comments already. I
Really?
mean, it's funny. Like it's just like a lot of these IGN articles don't really get that many comments, but this one, is like it's getting blown up, man.
Mm-hmm.
People care about Diablo.
100%, yeah.
Like the passion is so insane.
And even it's like when I would play POE, like it felt like a big part of that crowd. Like I don't know. I know there's a lot of Diablo players that haven't tried POE, but I don't know that the opposite is true. I feel like most, if not all, the POE population has tried Diablo and like are
at some point.
Maybe they've been like effed over, and they're like bitter about it, or they're just like, I'm over Diablo right now because there's no new content. But I love Diablo, like, and that's what it has always felt like over there. So it's like, it's so different. You know what I mean? Yeah. But speaking of POE, man.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of POE news.
A little bit. Actually, huge amounts of POE news. The announcement for Legion, which is the next league, hit today, 4:00. And
when's it coming out? In 4 weeks?
June 7th is when it's coming out. I'll actually be out of town, which is great.
That's less than 4 weeks. Isn't it?
I know, right?
2 weeks, man? What the
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, a little over 2 weeks.
But this thing is nuts. Like, I don't say that lightly. Like, and it only confirms, like, when they say, like, so this isn't their mega expansion, right? They say at ExileCon they're going to announce, like, their mega 4.0 expansion. But the amount of content.
When is ExileCon? Do you know?
It's the week or 2 weeks after BlizzCon. So it's like mid-November.
Oh, okay. So November. Okay. So they're 6 months away.
Yeah. But yeah, like the amount of content that's in this thing, I don't know how they're doing it. I really don't. Because like this one is absolutely massive. So basically the league mechanic here is like, it's like the Breach. So like the Breach are like these little clickable things you would click on the rift and it would like expand, and you would get like special currency or whatever. And that was an okay mechanic. But this seems to like expand on that big time. So basically you touch the little thing that pops up, like this thing.
Yeah.
And it brings up like a whole, basically like screen of bad guys. Right?
That looked a lot like a Greater Rift thing. Okay.
The pylon thing?
The thing that you start the rift.
Oh yeah, and the obelisk.
The obelisk. Yeah.
But yeah, and then you go kill these mobs, right? And then like everything's frozen in time. So you go touch them, you kill them, and then when a certain amount of time runs out, like everyone that you like killed in this like freeze time mode like becomes active, and you'll fight them.
Okay.
So like, the more
set your own difficulty.
Right. Yeah. Set your own difficulty kind of thing. And what's really interesting about this is like some mobs will have like, these mobs will drop what's called Legion shards. And so there's 5 legions, right? Mm-hmm. And you can take these shards, and if you put like 2 of them, like one of different ones, in your map device, which I know you don't know what this means, but some people might. You put them in your map device, and it opens up like a battle. And when you go into the battle, like you'll walk in, and there'll be like a chaos orb over like some mob's head. So like that mob's gonna drop like a chaos orb. So like you want to focus that guy or whatever. And they can also drop these, which this would be pretty cool in Diablo too. But they basically drop these currency items that you can use on like a piece of gear, like a Romaldi's gift, right? You like right click it, left click on a piece of gear, and what it does is it adds like I think they call it like a hatchery or something like that, incubation. And so it says like, after you kill like 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, whatever mobs, something will happen. Like you'll get this currency item, you'll get this legendary drop, you'll get
It's like hatching an egg in Pokemon. Go.
right. But like just for killing shit, like which is I think is actually pretty dope.
That is kind of cool. Yeah.
They've also announced the map tab or the map is going to have like a 5 slot, which is like a brand new thing because it's usually just 4 slots. What else? The big thing here, probably the biggest thing about this is when you're in these like battles, you can get these legendary jewels that you can put into your passive tree. And you've seen the passive tree. It's like there's this massive, crazy
like
fucking thing.
Yeah.
And you can put them into the sockets. And so when you put them in the sockets, they will change effectively everything in a big radius around that skill is now like something else. So they're basically like making the passive tree like even
bigger,
unique
even more
than
crazy.
it already was. So it's like,
So is this the Melee update too? I know I've been hearing people talk about they're going to retool Melee and make Melee better because Melee is just not good.
it is. But yeah, just to touch on this. But
Yeah, I see it.
so you you put a socket and it changes, and it can change like keystones, and keystones are like, you know how like in any passive skill tree, there's like there's one big thing that you're kind of aiming for, right? Like you get a bunch of small things and you go for like a big thing. And so like they change the big things, which could be like build defining and gigantic. It's like actually crazy.
Right.
But yeah, like what you said, also coming with this is the massive like melee combat revamp. They've done like a ton of stuff to kind of improve melee
That
gameplay.
whirlwind guy that they showed, I don't know if that was a new mechanic or not, but that looked kind of cool. It looked like spin to win.
Yeah, so it is kind of a new mechanic. They're adding like stances to some of the melee classes. And so like that big red cyclone thing was a skill called Cyclone, but he's got like a massive AoE on it because he's spec'd for blood or something like that. But you can like cancel skills now. They added more movement abilities, which I felt was like one of the big things that POE was lacking was just movement skills because they only had like 3. But now they're going to have, I guess, at least 5, which is good.
Cool.
But yeah, man, like it's just insane amount of content. And it's not only that, but like they're revamping how mobs hit. So like if a mob like swings at you, like, and he's swinging at you with like his right arm, like, and you move this way, you'll be fine. But if you move like that way, you'll still get hit. And it's like, it's super precise. And it's very, very interesting. And everything has like a wind up. Now, like, one of the big problems in PoE, and you've seen it, I'm sure, it's like you just fucking die. And you're like, what the hell? Like, what the hell was that?
Hit me? Right.
And now, like, you're going to see mobs, like, they're going to be like, okay, here I come, like, big fireball, boom. And it's like, you're going to have, like, that second of, like, okay, he's about to do something, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Trolly cheat mechanics don't feel good no matter what game it is.
Right.
If you just die and you're like, I don't know what hit me, and the tools in the game aren't there to figure out what hit you, then it's kind of like, okay, well, fuck, that's stupid.
Right.
But
yeah, it's actually
that's pretty cool.
crazy.
PoE is interesting to me. Like I know I've been saying this for a long time. I think the more I follow it, the more I watch you play it, the more I've seen other people play it. It looks interesting. I think once I start to wind down on this season of Diablo, that I'll probably give it a go.
Yeah, right.
See how it feels.
Yeah, fucking right. It'll be a year from now. I'm like, hey, have you tried PoE yet? Yeah, man.
Maybe.
And this is what I go back on. It's like PoE is literally to me like pushing the boundaries of what a game company can even do, like on a 3-month basis. It's actually insane.
Yeah, we're gonna get like a Jason Schreier Kotaku article in like 4 years talking about how the PoE devs like never slept
but they've been very open about how like that's not their thing at all.
Yeah.
Like they let.
No, I'm kind of being sarcastic.
Right, I know.
But it's I'm with you, man. Like that's the thing that's appealing to me.
Yeah.
Like as a non-PoE player, and I know we talk about PoE on the podcast, and it's a weird dynamic because Fluff plays it and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a cool perspective because it like you guys are going to be able to see my mental shift because they just keep getting content, man. How many times have we had a podcast now where it's like, dude, check out these PoE patch notes.
Right.
Look at how big these PoE patch notes
Right.
are. And I'm sitting in the cut the first time, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Right.
And then the same thing goes through in Diablo, and we got like 5 items reworked, and I'm like, oh, damn, that's a lot. That looks cool.
Yeah.
And now this is like the 4th or 5th time, and I'm just like, fuck, man.
I know.
Like, how awesome would that be to have content just in your face?
Right.
Like, here, you want some content?
But it makes you also wonder, like Diablo's never, like even in its prime, has it ever pumped out content at this level. Any Blizzard game has never pumped out content at this speed. And again, like I would say, you know, we talked about it before, but like really Fortnite's the only game I feel out there that's really rivaling the amount of content.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite's content is so ridiculous that you don't play for 2 months and you don't even know what's going on in the game. You're like,
and
what the hell have they done?
It's almost that way in PoE. Like you could take 2 leagues off, which is like 6 months, and you come back and be like, what? Like, what am I doing?
And I think the cool thing is they designed the game from the ground up to be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they had those articles about designing the game as a, you know, that live service design that they had and how to hook players and keep them coming back and understanding the swing of players and things like that.
Yeah.
The cadence, I guess, is what they called it.
People in chat are saying, wow, gets a lot of content. Not like this, man. Not like this at all. This is insane.
No.
This is actually insane. Yeah. This is like an
overhaul.
I mean,
if you guys aren't familiar,
like it's insane.
Like, just look at the patch notes. And I don't even play PoE. And I'm just saying, just look at the patch notes. Right. It's just like massively ridiculous. Like, you know, so it's kind of weird when I'm reading the patch notes to a game I've never read. You know,
they're like, oh, they added that. I don't know what that is, but wow.
I legitimately like look at them and I'm like this is kind of insane. And you can still get a gist of it.
Sure.
If you're reading the notes, you're like, oh, that's cool. I guess I've watched enough.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and you can watch like you know, a Ziggy D video or something. Like he always does a pretty good, because they work with him, so like he'll get a little bit more insider knowledge and kind of break it down even more. So if you guys want to know more, I'd watch Ziggy D's latest video. He's pretty good. But that was cool too, and that's another thing I'll say too is like you know, I'm not to go into it too much, but like I wasn't invited to BlizzCon, and I reached out to PoE, and within 15-30 minutes I had a response. They were super, super nice, and they were like super open and like very communicative. Like it was just insane. And you know, all the times that I reached out to Blizzard, reached out to Diablo, and just like been completely ignored. Like it's just insane.
Yeah.
It's insane how much better they treat people over there. But anyways.
I hear you.
What else we got?
That's kind of the gaming scene. There was some PlayStation 5 hardware demos that also dropped yesterday or today. I'm not sure exactly when they dropped. But the demo is pretty interesting. They have a video. Scroll down a little bit, you'll see a video there. And then I'll tell people what's going on. But basically they're showing a demo. And this is something that I talked about a while back on the podcast. But it had it's showing like SpiderMan, the current SpiderMan on PS4, the Marvel's the SpiderMan. And there's a limitation. They're showing a PS4 and they're zooming through the streets of New York that they've in this game that they've already created, that's already out and we play it. And there's going as fast as the PS4 hardware will allow them to zoom through the streets. And first it's loading time. Like it takes the PS4 Pro like 8 seconds to load, and it takes the PS5 like, a fraction of a second. But they're speeding and speeding and speeding, and it gets to a point where you see pauses on the PS4 Pro because it literally just can't process and render the data fast enough. Like, okay, now we're going to show a PS5 hardware, and it just
gets crazy.
It looks ridiculous. I mean, it looks absolutely nuts.
Like not even a stutter.
Not even a single frame skip. So it just goes through the whole map like instantly.
That's crazy.
But the hardware side of it looks like it's going to be super impressive, and console has always been behind PC gaming. So it's like if we took that same demo and we threw it on like my machine, for example, and my gaming machine's not the best in the world, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. It's like, what are we talking, man? Are they going to have some next level shit that we don't even have right now on PC?
Never.
Like I don't think so either. Like I don't see how it could have more computational power than like, an i9
sure.
or
but there was like
2080 Ti.
I don't remember. It was like, was it PS3 or PS2 that like the government bought up a whole bunch of the processors were so efficient.
Yeah,
like the government was like buying them up. Like
I never heard that.
Insane. Yeah. Like, so they make good hardware. They make good stuff. Like they make good consoles. that are powerful.
Well, they take a loss on PS4 still today. Even I think they still take a loss on them. So it's interesting, man. It's just I like console. I don't play console a lot, but I do like it. And I know, like you with your Halo background, you have to have a little bit of a open mind to console. I'm definitely not PC master race.
Right.
Even though if a game comes out on both, I always get the PC version. It's more just because I know my PC's badass and it can handle it and it'll look better and play better. But I'm excited for PS5. Like I really am. So
cool.
I want to see what they do.
Yeah.
That's it, man. That's just
no Halo though.
Keep your eyes on.
It's garbage. But
yeah. What is it? Oh, X what? Who makes that crap?
I don't even know.
Oh, there was one other thing. So Dauntless. Dauntless is a Monster Hunter. I think it's free to play. A free to play Monster Hunter clone. And I played the beta a little bit for a couple hours, and it was decently fun. But Dauntless is the first official. Fortnite did this, but it was not real. Cross-play game with PS4 and Xbox. So Dauntless is now cross-play on PS4, and this is like pretty big because this opens the door to we already know it's possible because Fortnite did it on accident,
right?
But B, it's possible, it's there. Sony's allowing it, Microsoft's doing it, so that's pretty awesome. I think
I can't even play these videos because it's all fucking ads.
Yeah, it's throwing ads up.
Never mind.
But yeah, so
cool.
What'd you think about that Game of Thrones episode? No spoilers.
No spoilers. I think that they could have ended it like 15, 20 minutes in, and it would have been better. Like after the Daenerys thing.
Okay. But before the thing or after the thing?
After the thing.
Okay.
Like flying away kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Right there. If they ended it right there, it would have been way better.
I don't know, man. So part of me is sad that it's just over. Like I watched the first episode night one when it dropped, and I made this thing, and it's done now. So it's like that's my I don't have a show now. Like I literally.
I'm actually kind of happy because like I would shut down early on Sundays, and Sundays is like one of my best stream days. I just didn't like. I'm relieved because it was just bad. Like I actually kind of like didn't really love watching them this season. Like I was just like I find myself sitting on their couch and be like, is this thing fucking over? Like
really?
Yeah.
Damn. No, I was still, even though so this was by far the shittiest season, but it was still good. I mean, this is the Game of Thrones shittiest season is still better than any other show.
Okay.
Like Westworld's okay. I've been watching that. I watched the first season of Westworld, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I couldn't get it.
It's not GOAT.
Yeah. I think if Westworld had done it was such a cool idea. And I heard that they did better stuff season 2, but like of all the things to pick, like they picked like a Western, as the thing.
I think Westerns are cool though, so maybe that's why I like it a little bit.
Maybe.
But it's still not.
But they could have done anything with that, like tech, right?
Yeah, well, I think there's like the trailer for the season 3 has them in like the new open,
But for me, it's just like
cool shit.
Yeah, just kind of killed it because I was like, well,
and they teased, So I don't know, I maybe people haven't seen that show either,
right?
So I won't go into it, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
And then the Bloodborne series, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. What was the little samurai sword? Sekiro.
Sekiro, yeah.
Yeah. So the developers that make that. Whose name I can't remember. Apparently, they are in the works of being able to make a Game of Thrones game.
Really?
Interesting, right?
It was like a Dark Souls, kind of like hard stuff?
Yeah, a Dark Souls style. I mean, it's made by the same developers that made Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. So...
That'd be pretty dope.
I keep my eyes on that. I mean, Interesting. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Like I played Sekiro for a night because they sponsored my stream for an hour, and it wasn't awful. I just it wasn't for me. But if it's like Game of Thronesy, maybe I'd play through it. Maybe.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Like I actually watched you play Sekiro a little bit. It looked all right.
Yeah.
It looked bad.
Yeah. Like when that big fucking snake. You came in right when that like big snake came out.
Yeah,
right?
that big ass snake. You were like hiding in like a outhouse or some shit. It looked like.
Couldn't see me. Like what?
Yeah, you're like what?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was something that I wanted to spend $60 on, but
Right.
you know.
I didn't. So that's the only reason I played.
Yeah, I know. I was the same. I tried to get them to hook me up too, but they wouldn't do it. You know.
Yeah.
Those jerks. So we got some questions.
Okay.
You want to talk some questions?
Sure. No, actually, let's skip that this week.
The
Peace,
questions
guys.
today? All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. It's 10 o'clock. We're gonna go
Bye.
play more season 17. Bye. No. This is the Twitter questions. If you guys want to get your Twitter questions in, follow at ThaPChild or at Lord_Fluffy. Better yet, both of us, and then tweet your questions to us, and we will take them live on the podcast.
Yep.
Unless they're trolly, then we won't. But
We still do.
sometimes. Tep says, "Are you guys gonna play through Chaos Bane? Beta was fun. Also, what can we do to get some Witch Doctor some love?"
Yeah, I played through Chaos Bane all classes, and that's why it's at the bottom of my upcoming ARPG list. I think it's the worst one that I played. Nothing going on there.
Crusher of Dreams.
I know.
Listen to this. I haven't played it. I'm taking Fluff's recommendations, though. It's on the bottom of my list because he said it's not good. So
Clearly designed for console. Very clearly designed for console. So,
and as far as Witch Doctor love, are you talking about like us like Witch Doctor, or are you talking about Witch Doctor's not in a good place? I think Witch Doctor, you know, Lawn Daggers is
look at where Witch
decent,
Doctor
right?
is now versus where it was last year. Like,
I think it got some love.
Like 3-4 builds got revived, and they're actually really strong now. So Witch Doctor's fine.
Yeah.
Like Witch Doctor's fine.
I think it's an okay spot.
Yeah.
Richie O Dice says, "I like lawn style progression where you take longer to get the right gear in Ancients and have steady power increases along the way. Sets don't have power until the 6-piece and then steep diminishing returns. It's not as fun."
Depends on gear class, but yeah.
Right. Thoughts on merging lawn into the base game?
I think there's going to be, like, that's been a pretty reoccurring thing that I've been hearing from everyone. Basically, is like lawn should be already a thing.
Yeah. But lawn's like in the game though. So like my argument to that is lawn still exists in the game. So
maybe
you get your
add
6 pieces
lawn and other
targeting the lawn.
slots. Like the fact that it takes all of your jewelry is kind of like ugh.
Yeah. 2 pieces. Yeah. I think that would create more build diversity, giving us this goes back to like the Sage set. Like the Sage set needs to have pieces for every slot too.
Yeah.
That way other classes can maybe utilize it.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm with the lawn thing being used in more slots. So.
Yeah. And I get people are like, yes, it adds progression back to Diablo, and they're not wrong. But
Roar too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Sunday, full on. Like, it took me fucking like 3 days, 10 to 12 hour days. That's not that much progression. Like it's kind of a joke still. Like the amount of progression.
You're still trying to get optimized pieces.
Yeah, but like
you're right. The diminishing returns on that is huge.
So.
But like
Right, and I could play for a month on POE and still be finding pretty massive upgrades. So.
Yeah.
I'd love more progression. I think that's why a lot of players end up leaving Diablos, because there's basically no progression, especially since the introduction of the kind of like the Hadrix gift.
The seasonal start is always the best part of Diablo, at least for me, and it's the power gains that you get on a daily basis, on a session basis. I think everybody wants to be rewarded for their time, but it's a really fine line on how much reward you should get for that time investment. Right. And I think Diablo's time investment versus reward is not where it should be right now.
Right.
I think it's a little off. And I think that's ultimately what's killing World of Warcraft right now too. I think it's the exact same issue, is its amount of return on your time played and valuing the player's time. I can't comment on POE because I don't play it, but I think if they could figure out ways to capture the seasonal start for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
I don't really have a great idea on how to do that
off
the top of my head, but you got to capture this, and you're never going to get that same high as the first day or two. Yeah. But to just drag that out a little bit, I think would be would be awesome.
And I think that's one thing that like Season of Lawn kind of unveiled is like, so you get that, one piece of ancient, and boom, you get a 750% damage multiplier. You don't need anything else to get that. Whereas, like sets, you are basically waiting on, I got to get one more piece. I got to get two more pieces. I got to get three more pieces. Whereas every single time you find an ancient, it's like, well, that's an upgrade. Like, boom. Like, that's 750% more damn. So, I mean, that definitely, I can only assume that someone that can play, like, say we were locked to playing 1 hour a day. And that, we'd be very efficient with that time. But, like, that's probably the equivalent of, like, a casual playing for, 5-6 hours. And, like, finding that one, during that session would be huge.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's cool. Like, the first 2 days, I'm sitting here like, okay, what do I need? I need, ancient Requiem Seraplate, and I'm like, and then when I get it, I'm like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? And it's that feeling of like, yes, I got this piece.
Yep.
But you can only do that, so many times. And then you're like, okay, now I'm full ancient. And then it's gone. Then it's just like, well, a primal one. But is a primal one still the same? I mean, maybe the weapon, a primal weapon that's GG rolled.
Right.
Gives you that same hit. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. There's got to be a way to capture that and extend that out a little bit.
100%.
So if we can figure that out, and that's something for D4 that I hope they really lock down, is it's such a fine line to value the player's commitment of time. And I think that's what the game is not doing a super good job of right now.
And I think that there's like a lot of like little mini metas that happen within like an ARPG. Like, a lot of people play for progression. A lot of people play because they just think combat's fun. A lot of people play because they love the theory craft. A lot of people play because they love the competition. Like, all these little things, really, really add up. And the one thing that Diablo definitely doesn't have, and POE very clearly has, is progression. Just like infinite progression. So hopefully, I mean, POE stole so much from Diablo. I want to see Diablo do the same thing. Like, please, just steal some really good stuff, because they have some fucking fantastic stuff.
Yep. Let's see. Keyray says, why didn't we see PChild in a dress for the 1 year?
That is a great question. Great question.
First off, that was never promised. I don't even know where this is coming from.
Promised clip it yet.
There's got to be some kind of bet thing, between Fluff and I. There's got to be some stakes on his side put up for this. Like, what do we got? Man?
What have you want me to wear a dress while we do the podcast so we can see your photo?
I don't know. Maybe we'll do so I have the photo. I dug it up. Like when we talked about this in the past. It's fucking horrible, man. It is horrible. Horribly embarrassing. I don't get embarrassed easy. I would be really embarrassed. For sure.
Like, more or less embarrassing than your wife reading that letter on stream that one time.
Probably more. I don't know, man. That was pretty bad too. That was pretty bad too. Yeah, it'd be pretty equal. Yeah. So. Demonic Grizz says, "What's your opinion on the new announcement of POE?" We just talked about that quite a bit. But it looks good. So
jealous.
Yep. Killer Plague says, I know you both were hesitant about the addition of T16 due to the reduced build viability. Now that you got to play the difficulty and see the rewards, do you still feel the same?
I do. I think it's completely reinforced what I thought. A lot of the builds that I had a lot of fun with are dead. They're dead in the water in T16. So it sucks. And T16, on these meta builds, it's still super cheese. It's not meant to be a challenge, so it's just ridiculous. I don't like it.
I think it reinforces my opinion even as much as I thought it would. It just makes me feel the same. Again, like Singularity, Neckbroke, and just poop all over T16.
Right.
And then you go and like try to do a strafe Demon Hunter build, and you can't.
Right.
Like you just couldn't do it. So,
Yeah, and it's kind of sucks too. In like this season of LAN, like the amount of freedom we would have had it stayed T13.
At least like next season, give us the 16s. It would have been so fun.
It would have been.
But it is nice to get the extra mats. I mean, I'm gonna play at least at the start of the season when I'm playing the meta builds, the strongest builds.
Right.
It's nice to get those things.
We could have maybe had like an Army of the Dead build. You know what I mean? Like just like the most whack shit.
The
If it
scaling
stays
still
E13.
feels off, and I thought they said that they
is.
were fixing it to put it more in line. It still feels like it's
It's like
several greater rifts
yeah,
higher.
3 or 4
Yeah.
off. Feels like
Yeah. So I don't know if they.
but it's
did fix
better
it
than it
or-
was because it was like 8 off.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely feels
Yeah.
off to me, at least. And then the last question that we got was from Hex. Hex says, "What is your favorite build so far this season?"
I mean, I haven't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing around with Z Necro builds that, it's not like a super new build, but since I'm going to play a lot of Z Necro, I wanted to try. There's been 3 different builds in the past that I've played, and this is the 4th one now, but it's using Briggs, a Varian Spear, I think that's what it's called. It's the spear that gives you the curse on killing a demon, and then the Shrine Gloves. Yeah. And so I've been mixing that in with Z-Neck a little bit just for fun. Not necessarily hating it or loving it more than anything else, but it's fun. It's just different, If I'm going to play Rats, I wanted to mix it up and play something I hadn't played.
Yeah. I mean, the only build I've gotten together was Inarius Death Nova, which wasn't really even a build that I had designed or wanted to play. But then, Lawn Singularity. That's the first thing I got together. And it's really, the only thing I still have. I finally got, the Lawn Scythe build together, the push build I'm going to play this season. I've been doing that, which is fun.
I saw you playing that. Tell me about that a little bit. So you had, a Gargantuan, it looked like.
Yeah.
A Grim Scythe.
So it's like the Poison Scythe build that I made with Inarius. It felt very clunky back then because, it just wasn't as silky smooth. But now that, as you take away the rings, it's a good build, but it's only gonna be good for this season. But it's fun, man. It still has that clunkiness of you have no way to dump your essence besides the Singularity Mage, which sucks. And
so what's doing the damage? Is the Singularity Mage just killing the things?
No, it's the Scythe, the Grim Scythe, doing all the damage with the offhand Ledger Sustain.
Okay.
So you use your Singularity Mage to dump all your essence so that you can swipe and do more damage with your Scythe.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you get a big pack together, you stack up your area damage, it fucking one shots. It's actually crazy.
It's crazy. Nice, man.
And super tanky.
I'll have to check that one out.
At least until 110.
Singularity is the only other build I've got going. So I have Z-Necro builds. I have 2 different Z-Necro builds, and then a Singularity for T16s.
Right.
And then a Singularity for solo, and then a Singularity for rat runs. So it's all variant, and they're so minor differences between them.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so it's really just Singularity Mage. That's
Yeah.
all I've played. My favorite build that I've seen looks like it's the Chantoto's Wiz. It looks so much fun to me. I haven't played it, so I played it in PTR, so it was fun then. I imagine it's even better now from the changes they've made. It looks more fun. But that's the build I'm most interested in.
Yeah. I still want to put together Blood Nova Lawn. I think that's gonna be
Yeah, I
fun.
do too.
And
Yeah,
Blightmancer from last season will be better now that we can have those rings. So I think it'll be even better for GRs than Singularity Necro.
Blake.
Yeah. But by 1 or 2 riffs.
Well, put a guide together so I can copy it.
It's there, Blightmancer.
Just copy your Blightmancer straight up.
Exclamation point Mancer.
Gotcha.
It's just now you have
Mancer.
ring slots so you can put on, Unity and COE instead of wearing, Litany and Wailing. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Check it out. That's it, man. That's all the
Easy.
questions we got this week.
easy, quick one.
Easy, man.
2 in a row, bing bang boom. Super
Too
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
I mean, we got season to play,
Yeah, dude.
Season to play.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys want to follow me, catch me out at ThaPChild everywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. So
Easy. And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.